Is the recorder working? There we go. Hello guys, this is you14050. How is everybody doing? It's been a while since I have made a little bit of a video, or maybe not that long of a while, but at least knowing that I'm always busy, there's probably not many videos I'm making, but I do want to make a quick review today, especially since I just saw it. Today is now the 28th, and the 27th was when I saw it at 10:05 p.m. and it is currently now 2:10 in the morning, March 28th, when I'm making this video. I will try my best to edit it if I can, but for the most part, this will be uploaded in about maybe an hour and a half from now. But here we go. So, have you guys seen the new Tomb Raider movie? If not, have you played any of the games? And if you have, then you might not be so surprised by this movie. If you have not played the games, or you haven't watched anybody play the games, or watched any of the, movies that were ever made by it, or the comics, or whatever other resources of, reading material that you're able to get on the story of Lara Croft and the Tomb Raider understanding of it, then if you've been able to see a little bit of that, then that's great. If you have not, then you might be very confused by what I'm about to explain to you. Okay, so if you guys remember, in one of the games of Tomb Raider, sorry, my back is itchy. This is going to be a weird video, me scratching my back every few minutes. Yeah, might need some lotion later. I am right now in LV, so Las Vegas area, and it is pretty dry over here. But anyways, sorry, I'm going way off topic onto what I'm trying to say. But yeah, if you play the game, you remember that there is a scene that talks about Himiko, one of the ancient gods or goddesses in Japanese lore, according to this movie slash game slash anything else that has talked about the reading material of Himiko. So basically, in this movie, I have so much that I can talk about within the rating and what I rate it, but that will be near the end of the video. Right now, I'm going to give you a spoiler-free understanding of it, and the general point of it is that the understanding within the show, or should I say the game, slash all the reading material and all that other jazz that I was just talking about, really emphasizes a lot of those mechanics into this movie, which is awesome. I was so interested in it because it just makes that story of the thing that apparently Lara Croft's father wanted to find, and he found it, but he could not get off the island, especially since there was a specific group that was trying to find it and basically make a lot of good money on it, and so they can get themselves home. And basically, in general, she decides not to listen to what her father's wishes were, because at this moment he is considered dead, and it really just makes you think. You're like, ooh, okay, this is getting really interesting. I'm actually gonna get into this, thing really well. Oh my gosh, I have something in the background. I hope that is not randomly put into my video too much. I hope you can hear more of my voice than actually the person who is talking in the background. Sorry, that is an awesome Twitch streamer that I wanted to watch, but it looks like she's about to get off stream. Anyways, yes, so basically it talks about her life, his life, and just a lot of the different, I guess you could say, supernatural and natural understandings of, some of the realities and some of the myths, but also some of the actual magic or real magic in general, depending on how you think about it. The reason why I do this is because, some people will be like, ooh, magic, is this like a Disney movie, or, this and that. But it's basically a lot of cultural understanding of, like, kind of like the bad luck, good luck type of thing, within the POV of this movie. And just showing that not only was she trying to think about her life and what she should have done, she decides to find her father. And ironically, she finds him over there at that time. When she finds him at that time, a few different things happen, and near the end of the movie, you kind of find out a lot of the very specific things that happen within it that is very much related to the very similar feel of how the games usually went and were done. I hope that they make more of these movies because they are inspiring and they are awesome. Now, this is where I stop with a spoiler-free understanding. This is where it gets into spoiler territory. So within about 2 seconds, I'm about to start with the understanding of almost the whole entire story. So, are you guys ready? In 3, 2, 1, go. So, if you have stayed now and did not leave the video, or maybe you didn't find out this timestamp, I don't know when this timestamp will finish. I'll probably say in the video at this moment, maybe when I look down at my comments, I will put the timestamp for you guys to click if you want to skip the spoiler. What is it called? The spoiler. What is it called now? The spoiler section of this review. So now, when we get back into the actual story, the reason being that I will probably give this a really good rating when it comes to the way that it perceived it, the way that it did it, and the very interesting point of view that it showed, is that Tomb Raider in general, when you see the movies and you see all of the different writing material before it became this movie that it is today, the 2018 version of it, which I love, it starts off with a child who grows up with her father gone on an adventure, trying to find this tomb of Himiko. And apparently, when that happens, Himiko, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Himiko is basically the, goddess, or the, god that basically was going to, kind of, I guess, be forced to be taken to this so-called island in order to hide herself away so that her viciousness would not hurt the earth or hurt the world, so to speak. That by somebody touching her, they would basically die and get sick because of the magic that she has. With one touch, she would pass away. So, in the general sense, yes. So she decides to go and find out what was happening. But before that happened, she was met with a few things. She was living her own life. She was choosing her own path of what she wanted to do. And at the end, she of course chose what she wanted to do, and now she's kind of, the new Croft, since what's his name? I forget the father's name, but I know it's Croft at the end of it. So basically, in general, this is how things happened. First, she's living her own life. She's doing this and that. She wishes her father was still around. At this moment, he's considered dead. They couldn't find him in Japan. They couldn't find him anywhere. They didn't know how to contact him. And after all of that, problems of trying to find her, they couldn't give any more money to find the search party, so to speak, to find the father. And she is forced, in a way, to sign some papers that would give her, I guess, the estate, the money, the things that she owns and such. But at the same time, people, and companies would be connected to, her once she signed it. So basically, she would take his will of every single artifact and every single life savings that the father used to really boost his efforts in finding the truth about Himiko. But she decides, nope, I'm not going to sign it yet. Then she goes to her father's estate, the estate that she grew up in, and she gets a message from her dad to burn everything that had to talk about the Himiko project. And apparently, she doesn't burn any of it, because I guess in a lot of ways, psychologically, that is her last little memory of her father. If you really think about it, that is the last memory of her father that she would have. And she decides, I'm going to go and see if I can find my father, even though I have, this and that. She basically gives away one of her most treasured amulets that she wants. That she gives, and basically doesn't make a lot of money. And the reason she doesn't make a lot of money is because she asks the guy, who is basically a pawn shop, please, this really meant so much to my father, to myself, this is something that my father gave me, can you give me a little bit more? And then the guy just keeps taking out the money, basically saying, oh, people always say that and I always fall for that, I'm not going to give you that much money, type of thing. So it's basically that little bargaining type of thing that you have to kind of understand and learn. But he's basically leaving out the money, and she's only 1,800 short of. She only gets 1,800, and she's a few hundred short of how much money she needed for many of the many things she wanted to do. Also, this involves a few other things within the movie, even before that actually, where before she signs the paper, I know the story's kind of wibbly wobbly, but there's some stuff that I'm kind of putting back and forth. I'm going back to different parts, but I'm just trying to remember it because I just saw it, so I'm trying to chronologically understand how to explain this. So before all of that, though, the first thing that happens, though, she gets in trouble because she needs the money. She's, like I said, doing her own thing at this moment. And basically gets in trouble by the law. One of her assistants, or the father's assistant, comes around and basically takes her out of jail, tells her, you should sign these papers, and that's kind of how this story, starts. By the time she reaches the island of Himiko in that specific island. I forget the name of it right now. She's stuck, and she finds one of the old people that her father used to work with, where there's the Chinese son who is the one who controls that boat, because the father has already passed away and is stuck on the island, because she went to China to find him, and basically almost gets her stuff stolen by Chinese, I would say, basically by Chinese, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause the video so I can remember it, so that I don't just delay the video with prolonged, thinking. Give me a second. I think almost like theft, basically. She was getting things taken away from her by some Chinese thieves in China. And that really sucked. She almost lost all of her stuff. She runs and basically, kind of in a way beats up the guy for taking her stuff and says, "Now, leave me alone. You don't want any of this. Don't be taking my stuff, from me, blah, 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 blah." And then later on, the guy, the person I'm talking about, the Chinese man, who is the son of that father who left to go to the island, basically comes out with a firearm and basically gets very angry at those people, tells them to leave. He tells her to leave as well, even though she was just trying to wake him up because she needed some help. And then later on, while he was drunk, he literally told her to keep walking. He randomly falls on the trash can, or the trash that he has laying around on his boat. They talk about the different things about their fathers, how they couldn't find their fathers, and basically in general, they find a way to have some common understanding and basically going it together. No, that's the wrong saying. They end up deciding to go together to find out the truth. And from there, basically, they find a place. There's a big storm, and they have a lot of problems. The boat that they're on basically crashes and breaks, and there's no way that they can get those boats back. And then they're hit in the head when they arrive on the island. These people are called Trinity, which apparently Trinity, according to the movie, is a cult, basically. A organized cult. Cult. Oh my gosh, I'm messing my words. I'm so sorry, guys. Who basically want to keep order and want to find the powers of Himiko. And basically, near the middle of the movie, you get to talk to the founder or person that is organizing the help to find it. But he is a bad guy, and he's the one that killed Laura Croft's father, according to what he said, and also killing the father of the Chinese son. As we go along, the Chinese son basically distracts a lot of the different cult leaders and cult followers, and basically kick some of their butts so that Laura can leave and almost getting himself killed in the process. Then after that, Laura basically almost drowns and almost basically kills herself in a waterfall because she was trying to get herself to safety and trying her best not to get caught by the people that were basically pushing her to, do hard labor. And basically she survives on top of an airplane that basically breaks, and she has to find a way to get onto soft, clean land. Then basically the person who is organizing everything, is trying to find her and basically send somebody to basically find her and, I guess knock her out and bring her back to the camp. To force her to do a whole bunch of things. And then there's a whole bunch of very personal things that happen after that, where she finds her father, and she finds everything else. She finds a way to distract the other followers so that she can save everybody else. And then basically it comes into this little battle of trying to open the door of Himiko for many different reasons. So that they can find archaeological facts. Then, near the end of that movie, after they find all of this and that, and everybody else is rescued to safety, basically the people of Trinity, the cult, before she finds the father and does her plan to get everybody to safety, the guy calls in and says, "We found it. Send in a recurrence helicopter, as they would call it. Basically the one that would come in and then save you and then bring you back home and such. That type of thing. I forget exactly the name of it, but I think you guys know what I mean when I say that. So basically that type of thing. And then near the end, after all of the things that I just said, finding the father and such and all the diversions and going into the tomb, they find out that the magic was, the myths and the so-called lore has some type of truth to it, but it's not an actual, magic, so to speak, but it's more so of a disease that she had that is very contagious and that she was immune to, so to speak, until she passed away. And if anybody were to come around there and, try and, take a piece of her remains or touch her remains, they would basically pass away because the disease is very contagious, and it's basically the magic that, in a sense, is the one that kind of kills a lot of the different characters. And then basically near the end, a whole bunch of different things happen. We finally are able to stop that guy from basically taking evidence and basically taking advantage of Croft, the father, and the daughter, for his plan and such. And then basically you're left with everybody that survived that the Chinese son was trying to save with Croft, and then Croft comes in without the father because the father basically passes away because the disease spreads to him, and basically at the end of the day we just see this amazing different feels of storyline, understanding of contrast, understanding of how things went from one stage to the other, so chronological order of understanding, and just the flashbacks and flash forwards and the whole entire story as a personal, interesting concept. Now, by the end of that video, or should I say by the end of the movie, I was so happy because they incorporated many different types of film techniques, and they used a lot of things that made it very, very, very not only interesting but also very continuity correct, in the sense that the continuity was actually matching kind of not only the vision of the games that you probably have played of Tomb Raider, but also it really represents the aspect of the reading materials and just the overall action and feel of the story. So in total, and to finally finish this, at 25:01 is the timestamp I'll put, 25:01, because I have already explained a lot of what I just said. 25:01, 25, you know what, 25:02, I'll do 02. Alright, so from here, my final thoughts, the final understanding of it is, out of a 10-point rating system, I will give, as far as storyline, the plot, the concept of the story in general, and just the way it was done in general, overall, I would give this a 9.5 out of 10. The only reason being that I am giving a 9.5 instead of a full 10 is just I felt like this movie could have been much longer than what it really was, because it was 2 hours or so, but I felt like this could have went to maybe 3.5 to maybe 4 hours, and I just wanted a little bit more in there. But other than that, it was pretty perfect. Because in the game there's a lot more, and in a lot of the different resources of writing material that was talked about, talking about Tomb Raider in general, would have been nice to add to the conceptualization of the first movie. And then, of course, from that conceptualization going into the next movie and the next movie and the next movie that they might be making of it. I really love the actors, and I really love different, ways that they acted. And that's one of the reasons why it's a really good point average. Now, as far as the different techniques and the different continuity, I won't say errors, but more of the continuity, like shots that they made that were accurate and just timed really, really well. I would give that a 10 out of 10. And as far as overall just thrill of the movie and just the way it played, a 10 out of 10. Now, would I see this movie again? Yes, I would. Would I recommend this movie again? Yes, I would. Would I say watch it more than once? Yes, I very much would. This movie is a great movie that takes the conceptualization of the game and the reading material and a lot of the other different resources that explains the story and conceptualizes it into a really compact, quick, right at your face or in your face type of movie, where it really, 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 really gets deep and down into the relationship that she has with her father and the relationship she has with her adventures through her father's work. That inspires her to be the new heir, I guess you could say, to the Croft Industries. It is a great movie. If you have not seen it, I would very much recommend it. And just enjoy it just for the fact that it's a movie. I would say maybe the game and maybe the writing, what's it called? The writing concepts, or not writing concepts. The writing material, I feel like, is definitely going to be more accurate and it's definitely going to have even more into it. But still, conceptualizing this into a movie and making it really, really good is very hard to do. So I give big kudos to them. Anyways, I'm sorry this is such a long video, but this is U140550 signing out, and I will see you in my next video. I was supposed to put a different video today, but I decided this is one that's going right now. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.